Hi Cancer, this is your forecast for the month of October 2016. This is a general reading for Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, or Cancer Moon. If you have a different rising or moon sign, you might find watching those videos helpful or more informative for you. Please remember that these are general readings, and so they may not apply to everyone. If you would like a reading that is specific to you, please visit my website at thealchemistastrologer.com, provided on the link at the upper corner. If you have visited the site before, please clear your browser's cache for the schedule button to function properly. So normally I would say my thank yous, Cancer, at the end of the reading, but this month I want to start with thank you because I have received such great support from you and I have received a rise in subscriptions. So please know, Cancer, that this is mutual love that we're sharing, and I will make every effort to give you my personal best. Now, your reading. This is all major cards. This is a huge month for you. Something big is going on. In fact, this is going to be a very emotionally or spiritually significant reading for you. Because you are approaching, or maybe you're at already, some kind of significant turning point where you could easily become overwhelmed. So this first week of October, you have the Lovers card, and there is a strong emphasis on partnerships, whether those are marital partnerships, business partnerships, strong friendships. So some of you, maybe you're in a new relationship, or maybe there are some romantic meetings or attraction or issues of sexuality. Maybe you're struggling with temptation this week. Maybe you're involved in a love affair that there's a trial or choice involved, or maybe you're having to choose between two lovers, or issues about commitment or marriage or engagement is on the table. For others of you, some of you could be taking some short trips or dealing with health or healing issues. There could be trust issues this week. But some of you are grappling with a choice. There is an important decision that you're having to make. And maybe that choice, either way comes with a price. And so you're having to carefully consider it. Maybe you're having to choose between two very different options. Maybe you feel almost as if this is an impossible choice. Or maybe, you're making a choice because you're involved in some kind of unhealthy relationship. But fortunately, this is a week where if you do need to get things back on track, if you need to improve something or repair something or clarify something, this is the week to do it, because situations that you find yourself involved in will boost your personal understanding of your relationships and give you a greater self-awareness. And whatever comes up, eventually you will probably feel a greater peace of mind because of it. So this could be a very important week where two or more people that are critical to your future appear on the scene. Or you may be reconnecting with somebody from your past. But this week you are really dedicated and committed, and you feel a strong sense of responsibility. What may get in the way of all of that, though, is this personal magnetism and charm you have right now. You are very attractive to other people, and you are attracting people, and those people are in some way getting in the way of you meeting your goals. Now, you're enjoying this interaction. This is a mutual exchange where people are happy and pleasured. But it doesn't necessarily help you finish up your work or your projects. You could get a lot of interruptions. People want to get your advice, or they need your assistance, or they want to talk to you. They want to interact with you. In the meantime, whatever you have is piling up because you don't have the time to attend to it. The good thing is, again, you're enjoying other people. You have the ability to smooth over any differences. So you're generally feeling much lighter, more open to adventure, more spontaneous. And you're also, on a high intellectually and creatively, academically, and people are taking notice of what it is that you're putting out there. So you could be getting some special recognition for what it is that you do, or maybe an award of some sort. Some of you are, getting some bonuses, or maybe you're getting that new job, or you're moving up in the company. Some of you are just getting, somebody's telling you that they're sorry. Now, for those of you, the best of your relationships, no matter how good they are this week, will come under some type of scrutiny because of some tension or stress that you're experiencing with another person. And so, you may have a tendency to repress how you're feeling, not share your true emotions, but this is only going to increase your difficulties should you so choose to do that. So this could be a week where you need to get clear about who you are, what your true desires are, and stop trying to live up to the expectations and ideals of other people. And when you do, of course, because you're being your truest self, your relationships with other people will improve. So this is a week to be mindful of giving in too easily, acquiescing to the will of other people, going along with the other person's plan, or being too jealous, or relying too much on your charm to smooth things over. Sometimes, as charming as you might be, people could sometimes take offense because you're relying on that charm in such a way that whatever it is that you're saying appears to be disingenuous. So be careful of that. Now, the second week you have the Hanged Man. So maybe there are some matters that are just at a standstill now. There's a lull. Things are hanging in limbo. Maybe this is because you chose that. Maybe you're taking your time about something. Or maybe you are having to make some adjustments because you're having to adapt and be flexible to some changes in the environment. Maybe you've experienced some reversals of some sort. Maybe those are negative. This could be a testing period for you where you are learning some lessons. Maybe you're trying to break away from the past. Maybe you're changing your mind about something, or maybe somebody is trying to change your mind about something. This could be a week where you do gain a new perspective on a situation. Some of you, you're just focused on making some sacrifices for the higher good of something. Maybe that's a cause, something you believe in, something spiritual. Some of you are at a crossroads. And so, if you had some encounters in your relationships last week, you may be taking a time out to figure out what to do. There could have been some unexpected changes in the home environment, in your professional life. And maybe you're going to have to give in on something. Maybe you have to surrender your viewpoint or your personal will for the greater good of something. So it's important that regardless of what events occur, you try to remain as objective as you can about yourself, your role, and the role of others in a situation. A fresh perspective is going to help you get some sense of whatever is going on. If you're too close in a situation and there's a lot happening, if you step back and maintain some kind of detachment. It's going to allow you to look at things more clearly, to, look over past events and then decide what your next move should be, with a greater sense of clarity. But this week, you are going to have to be patient, and you're going to have to be determined to try to stay focused on your goals, especially if last week you were off track because you had so many interruptions. This is a week where you can get real. You can make some decisions to achieve your goals, especially if you maintain a sense of tranquility, because keeping, an even keel will allow you to move through any kind of setbacks, any kind of delays. And people may this week try to pull some kind of a guilt trip on you. They may be telling you that you should have done that, or done this, or done that, or you didn't live up to this expectation. But don't feel guilty if you know that you don't deserve that. Now, some of you this week are going to be making some sacrifices that are unnecessary. You're going to be playing the victim martyr role and giving in and doing things that don't serve you in any kind of way on any level. And this is largely going to be driven by your own self-doubt, a lack of belief in self that allows you to fall back on a pattern of behavior where you just, do the thing that's easiest, whether it's serving you or not. Some of you, again, last week you were advised not to repress your emotions. And some of you, though, are trying to hide how you feel. Maybe you're frustrated about something, but you're not going to address it. You try to stuff it and push it back. But what only happens is you start being resentful about something else, or you take your frustrations and your resentments out on the wrong people. So each time something comes up, some loose end that you need to address, a problem, a situation, a challenge, and you choose to look the other way, that situation is going to resurface in another scenario somehow. So this would not be the week to, not pay attention to your responsibilities or things that you don't want to deal with. So some of you, you will be taking the steps to move in a better direction. But others of you, again, you're going to be relying on your go-to patterns where you fall back into some self-defeating habits, behaviors, and attitudes. But this is a week for you to maintain your composure about situations. Now, the third week, you have the moon. And this card, of course, is tied to Cancer. So you may be, there could be a strong emphasis on you this week. But this is a card connected to maybe mother figures, children, or you feeling especially maternal toward others, whether you are male or female. There could be changes this week, fluctuations in situations. Maybe you're doing some traveling. Maybe you are, getting in touch with your emotions or your unconscious mind. There could be issues of past conditioning. Again, go-to behaviors, things that are surfacing because of childhood. Some of you are coming in contact with deception, whether that's you or the other person. There could be issues about, trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes, or being impractical, or even lying. So situations could be driven by, something deep inside of you, something instinctual. You may experience deception, or you may be deceiving yourself in some way. Maybe you're hiding out, or maybe in your interaction in a partnership, your emotions are currently out of sync with another person. This might be a week to pay attention to your dreams. Maybe you're being very creative this week because you're able to tap into something deep inside of you. Now, some of you, if you're female, you may be experiencing some gynecological problems this week. But whatever it is, this is a week where things are not totally clear. Matters may not may not be what they appear to be. Or you may feel overwhelming emotion in some way. So you're going to have to take a really close examination at 2 or more areas of your life this week. And it's going to require that you are brutally honest with not only other people, but with yourself as well. Because just know that if there have been any secrets, anything you have been hiding, or anything that has been hidden from you, that is likely to be revealed this week. Now, some of you may be feeling a bit of depression, or maybe you're feeling irritable or nervous, suspicious or anxious, or maybe that's coming at you from someone. This could be a week where you are very intuitive. Your intuition is heightened and you have a strong emotional link with other people. And because of that, you're tapping into the emotions of other people. So you may very well hear some bad news from someone or about someone that you care about. And this is the reason that you're feeling, out of sorts. You can't put your finger on it, but you are feeling the emotions of other people. You're tapping into their psyche. So physically, you may be susceptible to some nervous upsets, and you may get ill, or there may be some psychosomatic illnesses, or something that has never bothered you before comes up, or some stress-related illnesses. So if you are tied to someone in a strong emotional way where you feel they have to need you. You need to be needed, and you're participating in some codependency in order to feel good about yourself. It's going to make you more vulnerable to any slights or criticisms, whether those are real or imagined. So this could be a week where you've got to really struggle to be real, to be in the practical world, because you could be in denial about your work, your health, or your relationships. And because you are, it's going to trigger your self-defeating cycles where you invest your energy, your fear, and your anger in ways that prevent you from recognizing opportunities that are presenting that could allow you to make some changes that would improve your situation. So you might be, like I said, easily overwhelmed this week. Maybe you are totally concerned with your material welfare, your financial status, your emotions. But being so heavily vested emotionally is actually going to be counterproductive for what you really want to achieve. So now, the last week, you have this card, the Tower. I mean, there have been some changes, some uprooting. This is a game changer week. So something has happened, and maybe unexpectedly. Now, the purpose of it was probably to shock you and to wake you up to a situation that was not on solid ground. Something that may be an area of your life where maybe you were stagnant and not growing, and you needed something to push you to wake up to make some changes. So this could be a week of disruptions where something that you felt was solid in your life has suddenly collapsed. And maybe there was some pressure that built up that that couldn't be contained any longer. Maybe this is an emotional breakdown, or an emotional upset, or maybe there was an argument. There were some things that had to come out, and they just came out, unexpectedly and in a forceful way. But this is about unavoidable changes and some major transformations that may have taken you by surprise. So some of you, this could have come in the form of maybe some shocking revelation, a rude awakening. For others of you, it was a traumatic experience. You reached some kind of crisis point. Some of you got some disturbing news, or some of you had a belief that this week came crashing down for whatever reason. Now, others of you, you're making some changes that are disruptive to your life, but they're just simply taking you in a whole brand new direction. Now, maybe you got a new job, maybe you changed your residence, maybe you decided to separate or divorce, maybe you had some problems with your property, or maybe there was an accident. Some of you maybe dealt with some kind of natural disaster. Others of you, maybe there's a health issue. This could be something that came on suddenly, a stroke, high blood pressure, heart attack, or just an attack of some sort. Some of you, this may even require some hospitalization. But some of you, this could simply be this great need for freedom. You just want to explode. You've got to break out of things that have kept you confined. Others of you are dealing with aggressive people that are pushing you. They're trying to challenge your view of things, or you're doing that to someone else. Whatever it is, this card is saying that now is the time for you to, things have fallen. They've fallen apart. And this is the time to rebuild, to make some things better than they were, to look at any aspect of your life or any behaviors that have been keeping you from your greatest potential. So the universe may have stepped in this week, and maybe you had to let go of something that you wanted to hold on to, but this was something that you didn't need anymore. It wasn't serving you, and so you were challenged in that area. Now, for others of you, maybe this was a health issue, and you had been working against yourself. You were your own worst enemy. You didn't do what you should have done, and you know that on some level. Maybe you didn't listen to the doctor. Maybe you were eating something that you shouldn't have, or you're not taking care of yourself the way you should have. Maybe burning the candle on both ends. Or maybe you knew you were ill and you just waited too long to seek some medical attention. This card is saying that change is needed and that you need to be more adaptable, more flexible in your relationships. Something is too structured, too confining. So some of you are going to find that you're forced to accomplish something on your own, whether that's in your professional life or with regard to your resources. And you're going to be more successful because of it, because you've been pushed. Now, for others of you, just the doubt that you're facing, you're going to be able to overcome that. You're coming to some kind of awakening. You've gained some insights, in which case now you may be taking a stand and you may be saying some things that really shocks other people. And some of you, whatever has happened, as shocking as it may have been, you just appreciate knowing where you stand now. And so now that you know the facts, you're going to get in gear and make some necessary changes so that you can provide for your personal security or or mutual security between you and another person. But this is the time for you to reorganize without hesitation. So some of you've heard something definitely that you didn't like, and some of you are going to still try to hold on to something that's not good for you. And you may be trying to convince yourself that there's a reason, that it's justifiable that you hold on to it. There may be a tendency for you to, tell people only what you want them to know, or only what you feel they need to know. You could be keeping some things back, and then, this is going to create some kind of misunderstanding. So this is a week where you should not be looking at yourself as a victim of circumstances. Whatever has happened, it's likely that on some level you played a role in it. And that may be difficult to face, but you probably put yourself in a position, and now things have hit the fan for you. So this is a time for you to really come to terms with that. There are some things that you cannot change, that you have to accept as a truth. Because if you don't, you're becoming your own worst enemy. So for some of you, your partnerships are really important and you're taking a closer look at those. You may be having to make some important decisions or make a choice. Some of you possibly really do need to take a time out. Maybe you need to take better care of yourself, or maybe there's something about yourself that you're not recognizing, and maybe that's your own self-worth and beauty. The third week, you have this emotional situation happening. Maybe there's some changes. Some of you may be trying to resurrect some partnerships, because that seems to be something that's important. Or maybe some partnership or some issue that you thought was dead and over with actually has some new life, or there is a renewal of some sort. But many of you will be thinking about moving on from something old, moving on from the past, something that doesn't work anymore. And ultimately, in the last week, there's some transformation. Perhaps there is an ending of some sort, or facing the truth about a matter. Now, the underlying energy is the Hermit card. So again, karma is allowing you to improve your life in some way by helping you work through some things that you were trying to avoid. It's helping you tie up some loose ends, and it's doing that by challenging your belief system, your understanding, and you may gain some greater awareness in ways that actually take you aback, take you by surprise. Just know that whatever is happening, the Hermit is the underlying energy, and it's meant for you to gain insight and knowledge, wisdom, and you have some spiritual protection that is covering you while you may be experiencing any stress or crisis. This is a month for you to learn. And the only way to learn, or the best way to learn, is to learn by listening. By looking at your relationships and the aspects of your life, by listening to people, by noticing whether they are indeed walking the talk, if they are doing what they say they will, if they are living up to what they speak. And this is a month for you to rely on your common sense, to be practical, to use logic about situations and not allow your emotions to overwhelm you. This is a time for you to trust you, because if you rely on other people to keep their word, you may find that they disappoint you. So this is a time for you to rely on self in order to make the changes and the choices and the decisions that are best for you, and to allow you to achieve whatever it is that you deserve. And for many of you, you've gained some life wisdom, and you're going to take this very philosophical outlook about life in order to plan your advancement. So this month of getting real with yourself, seeing yourself for who you really are, seeing other people for who they really are, and looking at situations, the truth of situations, is going to help you realign your goals more quickly. And there is realignment because you're having to adjust to some major changes. For some of you, you're going to be very effective in your communication by keeping people at a distance, by keeping your cards close to your chest, by biding your time, waiting out a situation because you know that you're going to follow an alternate plan at some other point. Some of you, though, are so focused in one area of life that you are ignoring other situations and losing track, and those are going to run away on some level. So make sure that you're not, you see the Hermit card, he's shining a light and he's looking at where he's shining the light. But there are other areas, of course, that he's not paying attention to. So many of you, pay attention, many of you may go out of your way to push some buttons, and that may be why that Tower card takes place at the end of the month. Some of you are going to be the trigger. You're going to try to create some confrontation or some controversy or a showdown. But because this is a spiritual month for you, where spiritual lessons are being learned, and you are being asked to change your perspective, to open your mind to a different outlook, what's ultimately going to happen is this is going to be a face-off that you're not going to win. And that's probably by spiritual design. And so in the process of this confrontation, you're going to realize that you don't know quite as much as you thought you did. So you're going to be taking stock, weighing your options, maybe collaborating with other people. And some of you are going to decide that you're going to need to spend more time alone to contemplate, to come up with answers. And the answers are within you. You're seeking your own guidance. So this is a month where, again, you're going to be able to repair whatever needs to be repaired, to clarify things so that you can handle your commitments in the best way possible. And you're going to be challenged about your beliefs, your value system, your understanding. And this is probably going to connect to your relationships in some way and how you are interacting with others, whether it's constructive or self-destructive. So, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I would greatly appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and kind comments. For those of you who have already offered your support, again, please know that I'm grateful and committed to you. Have a wonderful October, and I look forward to speaking with you next month.